Namaste. I just had a question and I wrote a response, but then got to thinking that it might be good to put something out on video. A householder was asking about Kundalini, and I said I don't advocate a householder trying to awaken Kundalini, because with a Kundalini awakening, one really traverses the Tibetan Book of the Dead with all those realms and, all of the things to come up, all the phenomena, transitioning through all of that. And being a householder, really, to have that kind of a mystical path is really a difficult thing to manage. That's why mainly ones that are doing that Kundalini path have traditionally been celibates, and they have been in an ashram situation, or they are, a type of a wandering sadhu that's in a cave or whatever, but they're not engaging in society trying to live a nominal life on top of it. Unfortunately, this day and age, though, more and more spontaneous Kundalini awakenings are taking place because people are doing practices of energetic healing and yogas, and these things can, again, awaken Kundalini. If you're not prepared for it, it can be a bit devastating. Anyway, so what I recommend for householders is to either do a bhakti path. Okay, a bhakti path is pretty self-explanatory, but anyway, within a bhakti path, whether it's Krishna or whether it's Kali or whatever, you pick the deity that you wish to merge within, okay? One opens their heart, they remain in the heart center. Everything is done from the heart, where one is within that worship mode and surrender, okay? It's a path of surrender, okay? It's a path of love. It's a path of, one does what they need to do in the world and they surrender into it and do it with love, okay? And you see in your family as well, you are in a relationship. If you're in a relationship, you are surrendered into your partner, okay? Everything is done from a basis of love, surrender, okay? One doesn't fight and kick against everything, okay? So that's a quick bhakti path in a nutshell, okay? If one does, there's another path that one can do, which is the path of neti, which Ramana was more in line with. Okay, now the path of neti is when you are stilling, again, within the heart, sitting, stilling, observing. Whatever rises, comes and goes, is not the eternal source. Neti. The emotion rises up, neti, it's not this. The mind rises up, neti, it's not this. The show comes up, neti, it's not this. Okay, one sits there and observes. Sits there in meditation and continues to observe. You watch and you look and you see, where do thoughts come from? Where do they go to? What life do they have? What creates emotion? Where does it go to? Can a thought live out on its own if your attention is not on it? When that thought goes, what reality does it have? This is a path of observation, okay? Watching it, Not buying into the thought, not buying into the drama, not buying into all of that. But you see that you can be sitting there, and this is why it's beneficial, and I have had some of my students before go to a 7-day meditation, Buddhist type of a meditation, where they're just sitting there and observing hour after hour after hour. And what happens when you're sitting there just observing hour after hour after hour? Every single scenario is going to come up. Okay? You're going to see something that happened years ago when you were a child. You'll have anger come up, about some situation that you're going through or somebody you're angry with. And it has nothing to do. What are you doing? You're sitting. You're not having involvement with any of those things at the moment, yet they're coming up, they're coming up, they're coming up. You can be sitting there in anger, all of a sudden you sit through it. Okay, it'll come, it'll go. All of these things will come and they will go, and eventually you start looking and go, wait a minute, I'm just sitting here. What's going on? Otherwise, when you're in activity, you say, well, this came up because this happened. You want to attach it to something else, attach it to something else, attach it to something else, okay? We're not going to attach it to something else. We're going to see that these things come in waves, okay? They come, they go. They're like bubbles. They'll be there for a time and pop, it's gone. Where did it go? So again, neti neti is the path of sitting, observing, watching the emotion, watching the thought, not buying into it. If you're buying into the thought, you'll create more and more story, and you'll find yourself going off on a spin for maybe a half hour, an hour, creating some story, getting sucked into it. Okay? And you watch the emotions come up and all this drama surrounding it. And how is that happening? All you're doing is sitting. Okay? Neti neti. Not this, not this. This is coming, this is going. This is not the eternal source. Not this, not this, not this. So you continue to sit, you continue to observe until finally one enters a place of stillness. Okay? And then when finally enters that place of stillness, okay, one can see more readily what is the truth from the fiction, from the fantasy, from the dream state, from the illusion, the delusion, and all these coverings that one has taken on to create this identification as an ego self. Okay? So these are the two paths that I recommend for those that are in the householder situation. Okay? Either the path of sitting, observing, being still within yourself, and sitting in stillness, in quiet, letting the mind still, letting the form still. Not even trying to move the eyes and looking at this and this and this and this. Try to just be still and see what comes and goes across the screen, coming and going, flowing like a river. Okay? Observe. And eventually one will get to deeper and deeper truths. You'll start seeing the fallacy of ego and the identifications. They will start breaking one by one. Okay? So that is a much safer path than awakening Kundalini. Kundalini is just very, very strenuous. And again, through that path you go through really, really a lot of phenomena. Okay? With the other paths, you get less phenomena. Although you can still have phenomena that comes up in a bhakti path. You can still have phenomena that comes up as well in the path of neti neti. But it's going to be less phenomena. It won't be phenomena going 24/7 like it is with a Kundalini path, a straight Kundalini path. Okay, so I hope that helps to answer your question. Okay, and I wish you well on your spiritual journey. If you have any other questions, please don't hesitate to ask. Thank you. Namaste. Bye.